Hi, CDVC. Welcome back to CreativeDisc exclusive interview. Today I have a special guest. This guy, you already remember him. He's gonna drop his new album on August 23. Please say hi to DHRUV.
Hello. How's it going?
Nice. DHRUV, welcome back to Indonesia.
Thank you.
Before we start talking about your new album, I just want to recall you about your previous show in Indonesia.
Yep.
What did you remember about it?
I remembered that it was just one of the most exciting moments because I'd never played a festival before.
Oh, really?
Never. And I obviously knew that the music had done well in Indonesia and other parts of Southeast Asia, but I didn't get to see that because I was living in the UK at the time. So to me, I had no idea what to expect. And I came here and I watched the performance and so many people showed up and it was amazing.
Oh, so you didn't know before you came to Indonesia, you didn't know that you have a big crowd watching
I knew
you?
the music. I could see that obviously the numbers were going well, but it's hard to imagine actual people singing the songs and listening to the music and stuff. Yeah.
It's really amazing, right?
It's crazy.
Crazy. So maybe you remember any unique experience from your previous trip to Indonesia?
I mean, of course, like Dundi. we have to mention it.
Yeah.
Because I did this contest before my first project came out for Rapunzel, and there were only 3 winners in the world. In the world. So one of the notebooks got shipped to Indonesia, and I didn't realize that it was Dundi who was interviewing me. And he brought the notebook, and he was like, I was one of the winners, and coincidentally was the one interviewing me. So I have to mention that, of
That was
course.
very magical. It's not because he's in the media, but he's your fans too.
That's kind.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your upcoming new album.
Yes.
First, maybe I would like to say congratulations for finishing your second album.
Thank you.
Man, it's second album.
I know.
Finally, right?
I know.
But I want to know why in this streaming and viral song era, you decide to make an album.
Great question. For me, it's about albums are what made me interested in being in music in the first place. My favorite albums are like my friends. I think of them as my friends. I tune into them when I'm feeling low, and they've been things that have comforted me for forever. And the beauty of making not just one song, but making a world around music is what interested me in having a career in music in the first place. And also it feels like the next step. Obviously very grateful for Double Take, very grateful for the success of my first project. But to me, having a longer career means being an album artist, making albums and getting people tuned into the overall themes and the overall messages behind an album and not just a song.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a plaque for you, right? As a musician.
Yeah, it's like a plaque. It's definitely a plaque.
Okay, so from this second album, from the list of the track list, maybe it already have been revealed, all the titles. And I saw it before I listened to the some new song in this today. I read it as a kind of sad song. Are you really into sad song, or it's easier for you to write a sad song?
It's no easier to me than writing a happy song, but if I'm being really honest about the last couple of years, it's been a little more messy and a little more turbulent than my first project. So it reflects the changes in my life.
Wow. So is it harder to make the second album or the first album?
The second album was much harder to make because the success and the pressure of the first album existed.
Yeah. Sophomore album is,
it's notorious.
Yes, I know. So you said you are inspired by cities that you live in this album.
Yes.
Why you want to take city life as the theme of this album?
So one of the big changes of my last couple of years was that I moved around a lot. I had lived, for context, I'd grown up in one country. I grew up in Singapore from the age of 2 to 18. Then I was in the US for 4 years. But this period of my life was like I was living between London, New York. I was making the album in Nashville, going to LA every month for visits. And so I'd been traveling to so many different cities and experiencing how different they are and how different their energies are. And I found that in certain cities I felt much more inspired to write, and I would be out writing within the city. I'd be out writing in coffee shops. I'd be writing within, museums, sitting on park benches and writing. And so much of the process of the album came together in the hearts of cities. So not just in the studio. And for me, it felt important to honor that process with the title of the album and just the overall sonics as well.
Okay, so that's why this album sounds different to me. It's like you being experimental.
More experimental, yeah.
The first song I listened to today is "Ode to Boredom."
Yes,
it's so witty. The intro is like
weird.
It's like the new version of you. Why you take this experimental new music?
Yeah, I was just trying to do things that I thought were interesting, things that would spark my creativity. So with a song like that, the chords are so weird. They're like it's such a weird musical thing that it sparked a lot of creativity within me. And
when did you write that song?
I wrote that song. I actually had the piano riff from when I was younger, when I was in Singapore.
Oh.
The piano part, but then I wrote the lyrics and the melodies when I was in Nashville.
So actually, that's an old artifact.
It's an old artifact that I brought back. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so which song you feel more relatable to right now from that second album?
Right now, I'm very much relating to the song called Illusions.
Illusions. Oh,
yes.
You didn't give us that song.
I didn't give you that song yet.
Okay.
That was one of the ones
It's gonna be a surprise.
I withheld. Yes.
All right. So, speaking of which of the song of the album that you're dying to get response more from the listeners?
I'm excited for people to hear One and Only, because a lot of the songs, as you said, have been on the sadder side, a little more mellow, and I think this is a nice
that one is
change.
Flirty.
It's flirty. It's like big and bright.
Romantic.
Exactly. So it's nice to have a different feeling. I don't want my fans to be like depressed. I want them to be like uplifted.
That's
what I'm excited for.
Definitely.